When you hear the word island, what do you think of? A tropical paradise, perhaps somewhere you can escape to in order to get away from all your problems. Well, how about if I told you there was an island out there that was literally the complete opposite of everything you could ever imagine an island to be? Because what I'm about to tell you about will probably blow your mind. It's one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in human history, and if you stay with me until the end, I will explain exactly why. It all begins with an ancient megalithic city known as Nan Madol. It was constructed around 2,000 years ago off the coast of the Federated States of Micronesia. This was way before any type of written language had been invented by the locals. Yet somehow they managed to build themselves a city. But that wasn't even the strangest part about it. The city itself was built on top of a series of coral platforms. In other words, it's sitting several feet above sea level. Yet archaeologists have discovered evidence that it was once completely underwater. To make things even stranger, they don't know how the residents built it or where they got the materials from. Somehow they created massive stone structures by gathering limestone and coconuts and then piling them up one at a time. But just how they transported these stones remains unexplained. Archaeologists have estimated that the builders of Nan Madol would have had to drag each rock slab over land. For hundreds of thousands of years, people have been inexplicably drawn to the ocean, fascinated by its vastness and mystery. Yet few have explored its depths as fearlessly and enthusiastically as oceanographer Robert Ballard, famed for discovering the wreck of the Titanic and the legendary sunken city of Atlantis. Now he turns his attention to the bizarre black light of Nan Madol. As Robert ventures into the hidden underwater realm of Nan Madol, he uncovers a submerged chamber filled with a glowing black cube. It emits an array of strange sounds and hums, leading to vivid hallucinations experienced by anyone who enters. These visions align perfectly with carvings from long-lost Sumerian texts. But how can this be possible? Was this lost civilization more advanced than we think? Or is there something else at play here? What's really going on? But let's start from the beginning. Dr. Robert Ballard was recording strange electromagnetic anomalies when he went to Nan Madol. He was documenting a National Geographic special called The Secret of the Coral Island, which aired in 2004. According to experts, the island of Nan Madol was once covered by water. Evidence suggests that the builders of this mysterious city may have used advanced technology that we are only now beginning to understand. Dr. Robert Ballard was using highly sensitive magnetometers to record magnetic variations as he explored the surrounding waters when he came across something incredible. What he found was a gigantic structure almost totally buried in sand. He didn't know it yet, but he had stumbled upon an entrance concealed beneath decades of sediment. It led down into darkness, and nobody had ever been there before. There were no doors or stairs, only total darkness. He descended deeper and deeper into the ocean floor, eventually reaching a chamber that was humming at a constant low frequency. It seemed to emit a powerful energy, one that resonated throughout his entire body. It was unlike anything he had ever experienced before. Then suddenly, as he rounded a corner, he saw it. In front of him sat a huge black cube emanating an eerie glow. Something powerful was coming from within, pulsating outwards in every direction. As Robert drew closer, he could feel the intensity building, like an invisible force pulling him toward its source. His heart pounded against his chest as he reached out to touch it, wondering what secrets lay dormant inside. Before he knew it, he felt strange sensations wash over him. At first, they were subtle, like ants crawling under his skin or butterflies fluttering in his stomach. But then everything became more intense. His vision blurred, and the world around him started to warp and twist. That's when the hallucinations began. He saw images appear before his eyes that looked like they had been carved into stone tablets. They were symbols and pictures that seemed to come from another time, another world. Robert realized that these were Sumerian carvings, a civilization that had flourished thousands of years ago in Mesopotamia. How could this be? Was Nan Madol somehow connected to ancient Sumer? And what did these carvings mean? As the visions continued, Robert saw more intricate designs and patterns forming before him. They were geometric shapes, spirals and waves, all pulsing in unison with the hum coming from the black cube. He felt as though he was being transported back in time, witnessing firsthand the birth of human civilization. It was overwhelming and terrifying all at once. As the experience reached its peak, Robert saw a final vision. It was a vast city made of shimmering white stone. In the distance, he could see towering structures reaching towards the sky. There were wide streets and bustling marketplaces, all bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun. He could feel the energy of the people living there, their laughter and joy echoing through the ages. Then, just as quickly as it began, it was over. The visions faded away, and Robert was left standing in the dark chamber, the hum still resonating around him. He was shaken to his core, wondering what he had just experienced. Could it be possible that the ancient Sumerians had visited Nan Madol? And if so, what did they find so fascinating about this remote island? Robert knew he needed answers. He had to understand the connection between Nan Madol and the Sumerians, as well as the meaning behind the carvings he had seen. He realized that he was on the verge of making a groundbreaking discovery, one that could change our understanding of human history forever. And as he delved deeper into his research, he uncovered more evidence pointing to a mysterious past. As Robert pieced together the clues, he uncovered a shocking truth. Nan Madol wasn't just a remote island, it was a gateway to another dimension. The black cube had the power to open portals to different realms, allowing travelers to explore the vast reaches of the universe. But there was a catch. Only those who were pure of heart and mind could pass through the portals. If someone entered with negative thoughts or intentions, they would be trapped in the other realm forever. Robert realized that he had been chosen for a special mission to travel through the portals and discover the secrets of the Sumerians. He knew that he had to be careful, though. If he wasn't careful, he could be lost in the other realms forever. So, with a deep breath, he closed his eyes and focused his thoughts. He imagined himself as a conduit for the universe, a vessel through which knowledge and understanding could flow. And as he opened his eyes, he stepped forward and vanished into the portal. Robert emerged into a world unlike any he had ever seen before. The sky was filled with swirling colors and strange constellations twinkled above him. The ground was soft and squishy, like walking on a cloud. As he ventured further, he encountered creatures that defied imagination. Some were beautiful and ethereal, while others were grotesque and terrifying. But through it all, Robert remained focused on his mission. He had to learn the secrets of the Sumerians and return home with this knowledge. And as he journeyed deeper into this mysterious realm, he began to uncover the truth. He learned that the Sumerians had been more advanced than we give them credit for. They had developed technologies and achieved levels of understanding that we are only now beginning to reach. They had also made contact with beings from other realms, and some had even traveled to distant planets. But the most shocking revelation of all was that the Sumerians had been visited by beings from the future, beings who had come back in time to observe and study their culture. These beings had shared their knowledge with the Sumerians, helping them to advance their technology and understand the mysteries of the universe. With this newfound knowledge, Robert felt a sense of wonder and awe. He realized that the Sumerians weren't just a primitive people, they were pioneers of human civilization. They had laid the foundation for everything that came after them, and they had done so with the help of beings from other realms and even the future. As he continued his exploration, Robert uncovered more secrets, but he knew it was time to return home. He had learned enough to change the course of human history, and now he had to share his knowledge with the world. And as he stepped back through the portal, he knew that his life would never be the same again. But as Robert emerged from the portal, he was met with a sight that made his blood run cold. The black cube was gone. In its place was a pile of rocks and dirt. Had it been a dream? Had he imagined the whole thing? but then he saw it again, a faint glow in the distance. It was coming from the surface of the water above him. Robert knew that he had to follow it. So, with a mix of fear and excitement, he swam upward towards the light. As he broke through the surface, he gasped. The black cube was floating above the water, hovering just out of reach. But as he reached for it, it vanished. And when he turned around, he saw it again. But this time, it was inside of him. Robert stared in disbelief as the black cube floated inside his own reflection. It was like looking into a funhouse mirror, distorted and alien. He tried to reach out and touch it, but his hand passed right through the image. The cube seemed to be trapped inside his own personal reflection, unable to escape. Robert was horrified. What did it mean for him to have the black cube inside his own reflection? Was it a punishment or a reward? And how could he get it out? Robert was desperate for answers, but he knew that he couldn't stay in this state forever. He had to take action. So, with a deep breath, he began to move. He tried to swim toward the surface, but the black cube pulled him back down into the depths. He struggled to keep his head above water, but it was no use. The cube had a powerful hold on him. Just when he thought he couldn't fight anymore, he remembered the Sumerian carvings. They had shown him the way to unlock the secrets of the universe, and maybe, just maybe, they could help him escape the black cube. Robert closed his eyes and focused his thoughts on the carvings. He visualized the shapes and patterns, trying to understand their meaning. And, as he did, he felt a surge of power coursing through his veins. Suddenly, he understood. The carvings weren't just decorations. They were a key to escaping the black cube. He had to use his imagination to visualize the carvings in 3 dimensions. And, as he did, the black cube began to shrink. It became smaller and smaller until it was just a tiny speck in his reflection. Robert knew he had to act fast. He had to push the cube out of his reflection before it disappeared completely. With a final surge of effort, he pushed the cube away from him and watched as it floated up towards the surface. As it emerged from the water, Robert could see that it was no longer black. It was white, like a pearl shimmering in the sunlight. Then it exploded in a burst of light and vanished. When Robert resurfaced, he was weak and exhausted, but he was free. The black cube was gone and his reflection was clear. He had escaped the mysterious force that had been controlling him, and he had unlocked the secrets of the Sumerians. But he knew that his adventure was far from over. The cube had taught him that there was more to the universe than what we can see, and that there were forces at play that we can't even begin to understand. And he knew that he was meant to explore those mysteries further. So, with a newfound sense of purpose, Robert began to explore the world like he never had before. He searched for other cubes, other portals to other realms, and other clues to the ancient Sumerians and their advanced technology. He traveled the world, talking to experts and searching for answers. But, as time went on, he realized that he might never have all the answers he was looking for. The truth was that the universe was too vast and mysterious for anyone to truly understand it all. But that didn't stop him from trying. And as he continued his search, he knew that he was making a difference. He was spreading awareness of the Sumerians and their advanced knowledge and inspiring others to explore the mysteries of the universe. He had become a beacon for those who were curious and open-minded, a guide for those who were lost in the darkness. And as Robert looked back on his journey, he knew that he wouldn't trade it for the world. The black light of Nan Madol had changed him forever. It had opened his eyes to the possibilities that existed beyond our own realm, and had set him on a path of discovery that he was determined to follow for the rest of his life. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Your support keeps this channel alive and lets us bring you even more creepy, mysterious content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.